back to my kitchen, MosexyKitchen. How you all doing today? Are you holding up through this COVID-19 period? I hope everybody's staying healthy and good. Well, today, oh yeah, I hope you enjoyed the last two episodes with Brad Toby Luwale. It was a great episode. I want you to please follow him on his social media platform. He has a lot of things going on for him, and I want you to join and learn from him. He's very educated, and he things out for everybody to learn from. And his Instagram page, you're gonna always see food, so you can definitely learn. So today I'm gonna have another guest with us, one of my sister from another mother and father like Brother Toby. So her name is Jumoke Adisa, but you can call her Jumi. Well, I spread our government. That's fine. That's fine. Yes, I have her here with me. She's gonna be cooking with me today, and we're gonna be having a discussion. Welcome, Jumi. Call Jumi.
This is the part where you cue in the
Woo!
music. This is the part where you cue in the crowd. Hello all. Yeah. We are here.
Yeah, so today I'm going to be cooking with Jumi. We're going to be making grilled fish and roasted plantain. Some people will call this Nigerian food, but I don't believe it's Nigerian food. I think it's African food in general.
Yeah,
I think everybody in pretty much part of Africa, it's I've seen,
or at least West Africa.
Yes, people from Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Ghana. I've seen them eat it. So it depends on how you want to cook it. So this has nothing to do with being Nigerian. So yes, and today's topic is
drum roll.
Types of education, and the one we find more important in our society today. So yes, so let's get started. We're just gonna show you our ingredients for today and what we are going to be cooking. So I hope you get all your stuff together and you're ready to learn and ready to cook with us. Remember, we are not professional chef. Jimmy was taught by mom and YouTube, and I was also taught by my mom and YouTube. So yes,
And now we're teaching you on YouTube.
So yeah, so let's get started.
Your ingredients for today is raw fish, any type of fish you would like, chicken flavoring, or as we will say, Maggie, salt for seasoning, also Old Bay for seasoning your fish, adobo, and Cameroon pepper seasoning. Lastly, you'll need your red habanero peppers, 1 sweet onion, and 2 regular onions. So now, time to start prepping the food. So you'll want to get your fish and start seasoning it. So you'll pour all your seasoning, your Old Bay, adobo, Cameroonian pepper, and your chicken seasoning. You'll pour it into your fish and rub it in to make sure that it's seasoned properly. Remember, you season to your own taste. Now, the seasoned water left inside of the bowl, you'll put it inside of the fish to give the inside of the fish flavor when you cook. After you're done seasoning your fish, you'll want to wrap your fish in foil. So you'll grab your foil, spray it down with cooking spray, get your fish, set it at the end of the foil, and start wrapping it. Now, just to get the pepper for your sauce ready, you'll take all of your red habanero peppers and put it inside of the blender with a little bit of water and blend it. Now time to prep the plantain. You're not doing a lot, just get your plantain, cut off the ends, and then peel off the skin, and that's all for the plantain. Lastly, you'll be dicing your onion. Make sure your onion is cut into longer strands and you're not dicing it up so you can pick it up when it's inside of your sauce.
So today, the first one we're gonna do is we're gonna prepare the sauce for the plantain and the fish. So we're going to need, we have showed you in the video, I'm gonna start with my vegetable oil on my stove. I got the wrong, so yeah, my stove still has not changed.
Bruh.
My kids are still small, so we're still keeping it safe for them. So I'm just going to add a little oil to the pan. You can use a frying pan, whatever pan you want to use.
It's not 2 teaspoons?
No, we're not doing my diet. So Jumi is currently referring to my diet. So no, it's not teaspoon. There's no measurement. Remember, in my kitchen, we don't got no measurement. The ancestors tell us.
Y'all know Africans measure.
Yeah.
I don't care where you're from. We don't do that.
We don't measure. So.
We don't do that.
So okay, you already know that I already cut up the sweet onions. So this is the sweet onion. We're gonna wait for the oil to get a little warm so you can make this sound.
And I'm gonna wash my hands in the meantime.
Yeah, she's gonna wash her hands. And before I call my guests into my kitchen, my hands are always washed. So remember, I always wash my hands before starting any form of cooking. So yeah. So we're waiting for Sister Jimmy.
I can teach you guys how to wash your hands if you want me to.
Oh my God, no.
I guess that's
Well,
that's
I guess we gonna learn with my kids. Got this video, okay? So the oil is getting really warm right now, or hot, whatever we want to call it. So in my sauce, we don't have much things going in the sauce because I just make it a very simple sauce for everybody to enjoy. I don't make it complicated. Like some people have, I have allergy to this, allergy to that, so I don't make it complicated. So I think the vegetable oil should be a little warm already. So we're just gonna dump this here. Do you hear that sound? So we're going to give it a little time to cook. While it's cooking, we're going to go into our discussion with Sister Jimmy. Okay, so before we go into the topic, I just want Auntie Jimmy to, I'm so used to call her Jimmy, Auntie Jimmy, Sister Jimmy. I call anything I feel like calling, so sometimes you may just hear me switching up. So I just want her to introduce herself, give me a little background about her, so that way you know where this perspective is coming from.
Okay, so as Sister Moy already said, my name is Jumi. I am in my 20s, not gonna disclose my age on camera. I recently just graduated in December with a degree in electrical engineering, minor in applied mathematics. I'm currently working in a power energy company, and in my free time I just be chilling for real. I don't really have any set hobbies and stuff, but I'll call myself like a hopper. So yeah.
Great. Thanks, Sister Jimmy. So the topic for today is types of education, and the one we found really important. So we have the formal education, the non-formal education, and the informal education. The formal education is your trade school where you get certificate, your education in college that they give you a degree. And we have that's the formal education. The informal education is the education you learn from your parents, from TV, from social media, things you watch, things that is not structured. Is that how I should put it? Yeah, that there's no structure to it, there's no time to it. And then we have the non-formal education, which is like adult school. There's no structure to that too. You can just drop out anytime you want. Yeah, something like that. So yeah, I would take that as that evening classes for like adults. That doesn't really lead to like a certificate, like something you learn trade, but you don't get a certificate from it. You just get a knowledge from it. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So Sister Jimmy, what do you understand by the formal education system? Like,
so just like you said, formal education, I agree with what you said. It's the normal pathway that we understand of going to elementary or primary school, followed by middle school, followed by high school, college, then graduate school if you want to do that. And I think that's like the end of formal education, but that's the normal route that in our society we see as the road to success.
yes. Now the non-formal, the informal education.
Okay. I would describe informal education as, or the difference between formal and informal education as being book smart versus being street smart. That's like the best way to put it. Some people have formal education, but they can't survive out here. And so people can survive out here, but you know, they're not the best students in school. So informal, what you learn from your environment, what you learn from around you, the learning that you're able to pick up from experiences, etc., etc.
Okay. So listen to everything. Let's put the non-formal education, let's put that aside because it's more about night school and adult.
Right.
So let's focus on the formal and informal education.
Okay.
Okay, so talking about that, growing up as, well, you were born in the United States, correct?
I was.
Can you tell us the journey through that so we know where this...
Sure. Okay, so I was born here. And I've been going, as Sister Mona said before, and if you don't know already, I'm Nigerian by blood. Not by birth, but by blood. So I've been going to Nigeria every year since I was 3. And I actually went to boarding school for 3 years in Nigeria, which was between the ages of 12 to 15. So still like in my adolescent years, still growing, still learning. So the journey of education here, you know, we're kind of... I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but we're kind of spoon-fed, low-key. We're kind of spoon-fed. We have technology. We have calculators, all this other stuff. So me going to Nigeria for school from this system was a little bit difficult for one. I think because the education system is a little more rigorous there, people tend to be smarter at younger ages. So me going, I actually... I took a test for school, right? I mean, here, I was always like one of the smartest people in my classes, so... Me going to Nigeria, I'm like, I'm gonna be fine.
Paper.
Yes, I took a placement test. They never told me how I did, but let's just say I got pushed back a little bit. I got pushed back a little bit, which was devastating, right? But the main difference that I was able to see in the education system there versus here was that like there no calculators. Like when it came to math, like you use your head or you use your head. Like it's just it is what it is. And then I was taking way more classes. Had, you know, less tests, meaning that it was a lot harder to get like good grades, more assignments. We woke up for morning prep at 5 a.m. You had evening prep in the evening. I mean, it was epic. It was a lot, but it was good because it kind of apart from the formal education part of it, that stuff also kind of taught me informal things as well.
Okay. So with what you said right now, it appears that going back home for education, you got the informal education too, as part of school system.
Yeah.
But over here, the school system does not much include informal education.
Well, I would say yes. Now, I don't know if I'm biased because I was in boarding school.
Okay.
So the way boarding school works, excuse me, the pepper is... What's it frying?
Because this has only habanero pepper, so it's really like strong and spicy. So we can like perceive it both in our throat and our nose. So yes, that's why. So give me a minute.
If you see us, you know, do it. It ain't Corona. It's the pepper.
It's the pepper. I promise. I promise. So we're back.
If y'all don't know the difference between non-stick pots and non-stick pots, you get it when you start frying stuff because, you know, it won't burn.
So yeah, so this is good. I don't want to cook it for too long. So I'm just going to put my onions. I'm not putting my onions ready to be crispy, so my onion kind of cooked too. So, oh ring on. For every, I'm a weird one. For every grilled plantain or every fish I'm taking, I want to be able to grab some long onions to go with it. So it's going to taste good. I get to me. I like sweet onions, so this is sweet onions and oh, now that I already put the onions, I'm just gonna stir it together. I didn't put any seasoning yet, so just stirring it together. So I'm gonna cover it to cook for a few more minutes, then I'm just gonna put my seasoning in. So while it's cooking, let's go back. Okay, so in African home, they are into formal education really, like, it's very important to them. And when I break down formal education, I break it down into vocational school and also the other school, which is going to college, getting a degree. And I noticed in African home, getting a degree, going to college is way like the top priority for them.
Right.
Why do you think so?
Well, I don't know if it's the same in Nigeria. I feel like it should be, but just speaking from here, I feel like most parents are coming from a place of, I didn't suffer all of the suffer that I suffered, you know, to come from Nigeria, leave my father's land to come to somebody else's father's land for you to tell me you're not trying to go to school. Granted, formal education is not necessarily the only road to success. Some people do formal education and don't become successful, right?
Yes.
So it's not even a guarantee, but most of them see it as the most consistent road. So they're just like, yeah, you need to hop on this because there's no way that I suffered just so that you can suffer as well.
Okay, that's awesome. So talk about the education part. I have worked in a society, a company I meant, that vocational school was what they were based on, like carpenters, plumbers, and things like that. And sitting down, being an educated person, going to school, I'm able to compare those salaries to each other. And I've noticed that vocational schools make a lot more money than some basic degree, college degree. Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So I have noticed, like, a carpenter working as a carpenter can make up to $40 something an hour, $50 something an hour, being a carpenter.
Okay.
And being an engineer might make you about 20 something, 30 something dollars. Being a nurse actually make you like 20 something, 30 something an hour. I still see nurses that are making about 20 something dollars an hour. But I talking about the nurse is more like the overtime they're able to achieve, not about how
the
much
actual base pay.
Thank you. So when it comes to that, because I see a lot of parents and say, oh, I want my child to be a nurse, and I do see that we are not educating ourselves enough about this degree.
Yeah.
I think they don't understand that it's the overtime that is giving these nurses more money, and some other, not just being a nurse, being an engineer, being like, there's some degrees that you get that is not the basic pay that is giving you the money, but rather the extra hours that you're pulling to get that fund. So what with my advice, when I was talking to my husband and a few other friends, I said I don't mind my child going to school and getting a college degree, but I also want him to get a vocational certificate.
Okay.
Yes, because with that experience,
so out of a place of salary, like pay, or out of a place of when the market is hard type of thing, these jobs are still going to
both of them.
Okay.
Both of them. I would definitely say both, because I have spoken to a lot of African parents in regards to this topic, because I see a lot of them say, I want my child to go to school, and the child is saying, I don't feel like school is my thing. Right. So what advice what advice would you give? Do you think school is for everybody?
So that's a tricky question. I feel like school can help everybody. I feel like school is I take this loosely with a grain of salt. I do feel like school is necessary. I don't necessarily feel like school is necessary for success though. Now, even if you go to school for a particular degree and you come out and you do something completely different, I'm pretty sure the experiences of school, the basic ways of thinking that some classes will teach you will still benefit you later on. I had a professor in college, right? And he used to always tell us about one of his students that he had. She went to school for the same degree I went for, electrical engineering, but she owns her own hair salon now. She's not even using her degree. But the problem solving she learned in school, the thinking outside of the box that she learned there, the coming up with different solutions to like one problem that she learned from school, not necessarily the class, but the processes that you have to go through to like do some assignments, do some projects, working with people, because nobody likes group work, but at the end of the day, the reality is that you need to know how to work with people and how to interact with them. So those experiences along the way still helped her get to where she is now, even though she's not necessarily using the degree and the formulas and all the stuff we had to memorize. So that's why I say I feel like school is necessary, but it's not necessary for the actual success. And then also, if you know things happen where for some whatever reason people don't want to do their hair anymore, or you go into a creative space and like let's say that stuff is not making money anymore, you still have a second option. It's like having a backup plan. So you don't have to use it as your major, but you know, okay, if all else fails, I still at least have this, so I can work with this. And some people too, they come out, they use their degree for some time to help them build up funds to actually fund their dream jobs or their businesses. So it's not always about using that as a means of I get a degree here, I work here, and I die here. Some people just need that as like a startup, because the reality of life is that you need money for like everything, even to start up a business.
So without discussion, we have established that both formal, being a vocational or trade school, and getting your regular degree are both important, whereby you have something you can fall back on. Can be like taking certificate classes for IT, plumbing, carpentry, what else? Some like journeyman work.
Even like electrical work.
Yes, electrical work. Electrician, yes, things like that. Get you something you can fall back on, not just, oh, I have a degree in business administration, I'm just going to stick by it and not learn something. We gotta learn something.
And I also feel like you going back to because I feel like most parents push their kids towards the part of formal education that's very formal, so regular college. A lot of them don't push their children towards vocational. And I feel like honestly that doesn't even have to do with well-being. I just feel like parents feel like some jobs or saying my child is doing this is more dignified.
So they just want to
boast.
They just want the name.
They just want the name. They just want to be able to say, oh, my daughter went to this school, my son went to this school, and he's studying this, and he's working here. But it doesn't really have to do with what the child is going to achieve, per se. So if the vocational thing is your thing, you like to work with your hands, go for it. At the end of the day, excuse me, sorry. At the end
it's really spicy.
At the end of the day, nobody's going to be waking up with you every morning to go to work. So yeah, at the end of the day, you want to wake up knowing that you're doing something that you can tolerate. And the reason why I don't say you can love is because the reality of life is not everybody's going to find something that they love. But honestly, love don't pay the bills. So find something that you can tolerate, you know, even if you're uncomfortable for a little bit, as long as it's for a good cause, and you can either find yourself getting out of it or you can find yourself being able to stay and tolerate it, then go for it.
Great, great. So let's go back to the cooking. So we're just gonna add the seasoning, Maggi, Knorr, whatever you want to use. I don't know, one of them. And we're gonna add salt. You already know. Just gonna let it cook for about another 5 minutes, because it's pretty much done. We don't want, I like some people in my house that like their onion crunchy, but I don't really. So we're just gonna let it cook for a few more minutes. It's still gonna be crunchy. The onions is sweet and soft. So let it cook for your mommy. So Jimmy, you wanna taste it?
Wow.
Jimmy is gonna do the tasting of the sauce to make sure it's ready and it's not like the seasoning is perfect.
Thank you.
You might say like the onions is a lot. The reason why I put a lot of onion is because I do like the onions in it, and also I did not put any onions when I blended the pepper. It was just habanero pepper. So sometimes you hear it do because it is really spicy. I'm gonna say it in my throat. And always remember, using habanero pepper is an option. You don't have to use it. You can use the bell pepper. You can use only bell pepper to do it. You don't have to use habanero pepper if you don't want it spicy. So you can use the green bell pepper, or you can use the red bell pepper. But I want it spicy. That's why I did that. So, how does it? You think it's ready, or should we give you a few more minutes?
It's ready.
Okay. All right. So we're just gonna turn this off, and we're going to go outside to the grill when we're going to start grilling the fish and the plantain.
Plantain.
So we're back outside. Sometimes I do like to grill my fish openly, like you have it open and you grill it, so it's going to get the smoke of the coal and stuff, the taste. But because I want it to cook a lot faster and more with steam, I wrapped it in like foil to get it cooked faster and things like that. And we also have our plantain already cut up. We have our fish already wrapped up. Shout out to A&S Grill. Shout out to A&S Grill, Ade and Sheun Grill. I'm definitely going to put his phone number if you are in the DMV area and you want somebody to help you grill fish, chicken, any type of grill, outdoor grill, fish, chicken, whatever you want to do, a picnic, is definitely available to help with that. It's very good. Like some of this wrapping things in like fall, I learned it from him. It's very, very good and it tastes really good. And this is A&S Grill. I'll definitely write their number and things across the street in case you need. So if you are in the DMV area, it definitely travels, but you know that's gonna cost you a little more. So yeah. So we're just going to put the fish and everything on it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cover the grill. So while we're doing that, we're gonna complete our video outside. So the next thing we want to discuss is the informal education, which is the something you learn from your parents,
Right.
social media and all this stuff.
Right.
So I know that this is like out of schedule with this COVID-19 going on. It looks like we're going to be moving to informal education,
Yeah.
which people kind of been learning from social media, even though it's going to be time structured, but it's still going to be like social media learning, and kids are now spending a lot of time in front of the TV. Now, what role does informal education play in our lives? What role did it play in your life growing up? I did not have all of that.
Well, I feel like just like with everything, there is a positive and there is a negative. Now, with informal education, if we're talking about social media and TV and things like that versus our families and person interaction, I would say with all of this social media and technology, there's a lot of information out there. People are very, very, very inquisitive, especially children. They're very curious. So you can find a lot of answers to your questions. But I feel like the negative, which is where my story kind of comes in sometimes, is sometimes false information gets to you before the true information gets to you. And that can be kind of dangerous. I know in African households especially, there's certain things we don't like to talk about. There's certain conversations that our parents find awkward. They don't even want to deal with it. So we as children, Google. You search up anything and everything comes up on Google. But the issue with Google is people will write their opinions, right? And their opinions could be true and it could not be true. Or it could be true, but maybe not the truth that like your parents would be comfortable with you knowing, learning. So I feel like the best informal education is when it's coming from a person who is mature and wise. That way you're getting that education that will benefit your life and not lead you towards destruction.
Right.
Yeah, I grew up watching TV and stuff like that. I wish I did more outside stuff. I mean, I played sports and things like that, but I used to watch TV all the time, to the point where they started having to put like me on like a schedule because it's TV, you know, and you're like, oh, this TV all the time.
Well, I did not get the opportunity to watch TV or use any technology like that, so no, I'm not old, but my parent could not afford that.
Right.
Such now.
And now like that YouTube is a big thing. I mean, I stopped watching TV a little while ago, but like I'm really big on YouTube as well. Like I watch YouTube a lot for informal educational type of stuff. And I feel like if you have that informal education in the hands of a person who knows how to navigate it and knows what's right and wrong, it can be a very powerful tool. But when you're talking about kids and things like that, it might need to be a little more monitored. That way they're not learning the wrong things or learning things that, you know, in a way that you wouldn't want them to learn, at least not like at this stage and things like that.
So here is where we're going to kind of like end the conversation, but this is really important too when it comes to the informal education. And they said the first teacher that the kids have is their parents at home, and the people they live with. And looking into African and American, or I don't want to use the word white or black.
Right.
I just want to use the word African and American.
So like a cultural difference.
Yes, let's do cultural. Yes, actually, yes, cultural different, not white or black. In an African home, learning informal education is very hard for kids. I mean very hard as in daddy wants to establish the father is the father, and he doesn't have to teach the child anything. Whereby the mom is like, I'm the mother, I'm going to teach you what you need to know.
No, right.
So not what you want to know.
What you need to know.
Yes.
What I think you need to know.
Yes.
Right.
What your parents think you need to know. So how do you think this kind of thing needs to change in African homes?
Well, I believe things are kind of changing now. We have a new generation of mothers and fathers coming up, so I feel like things are a little bit different, but of course some people are still going to carry on what they were brought up off of. I think parents need to give their kids room to be themselves. There's no way a child is going to come to you to ask you about anything if they feel like every time they ask you, you just shut them down, or you don't want to talk, or you say that's not for your age, or whatever the situation is. Like there's some things that some kids will ask their parents that might make their parents uncomfortable because they're just like, where is this coming from? But I tell you, it's better for them to ask you and you to give them the version that is best for them now than for them to get it out in the streets.
They don't tell
because the streets don't care about your age. They don't care about what you know, what you don't know, what you've experienced, what you haven't experienced. They'll just tell you the raw truth. Doesn't mean it's not the truth, but it might not be for this time. Like they may not need to know all of that right now
At that moment.
So I think parents need to give their children room, and those conversations that they didn't have with their parents that they wish that they did have. If your kids aren't asking you the questions, you can still take it upon yourself to lead those discussions and have that space.
Yeah, and we also have to understand that in this generation, fathers should not be like, my job is just to provide,
and that's it.
Yeah, it's not just about you providing, spending time with your kids, understanding them, because if you feel like your job is just to provide for your kids, then there is no father. Basically, there's no father figure. That's how I see.
You actually lose, and I think that's a lot of things that that kids deal with. There's a father present physically, but emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, one or two things might be lacking there. And I feel like apart from physical needs, children really do need emotional needs. Like they need to know that they can connect with you, that they can talk to you, and things like that.
Yeah.
So they don't go looking
elsewhere
to try to find that validation that they should be getting from home in the first place.
Yeah, so most definitely spend time with your kids, try to understand them, try to give them as much informal education as you can give them before the social media start giving in to them. So that's definitely great, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you for spending time in my kitchen today, and also my patio. I guess this is my kitchen and my patio. So we'll definitely be showing you the end result of this food. And thank you so much, and thank you, Jimmy,
for coming having me.
And we'll be showing you a video of me tasting, or Jimmy tasting. I'll be doing the tasting too. So thank you so much. And all right, so we're ready to open it.
Ooh, a little hot.
Jesus Christ. Ooh. Can you bring the camera closer? Ooh. Yeah, so this is the end result. So we have the where's our plantain?
On the other side.
So we have the roasted plantain and the grilled fish. So let me open the fish so you see how it looks. It's still juicy, not dry. This is the pepper we have. Oh snap! It's still juicy. It's not it's not dry. Still juicy. So yeah, we are ready to taste it. So.
You want to pour it on it, or you want to dip it in it?
I think we should dip it because it's kind of spicy. The fish itself is spicy because I put a little pepper in it. So all right, so come on, let's taste on the patty. Come on. Let's taste right there.
Bless this food, oh Lord, for Christ's sake.
Okay, taking like 2 bites.
Amen. Behave though. Don't know what's It's good.
Even without the sauce, because I didn't even take it with the sauce.
It was good without it.
The seasoning, I use the pepper and stuff like that. You can still taste, if you're not the type to eat too much pepper, you can still like
Taste it.
taste a little spice in it. So
Yeah.
this is really good. So we hope you liked the video. So join you again next time, next weekend.
Don't
Bye.
forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
She told you. All right, bye everybody. Bye.